what's up guys? In this video you're going to see how I'll completely transform one of my parents' bathrooms. Come on, let's check it out. Alright, so here we are. Here's the bathroom. And it's glorious 1960s, maybe? 60s version. As you can see, pretty much tile everything. Tile on the floors, tile on the wall, some nice pinkish beige toilet, wallpaper, built-in mirror. So the plan is going to rip out this vanity here, build a new vanity, take out the top. This will be a wood top with a sink mounted on top there. Maybe trim out this mirror with some wood, remove the wallpaper, paint the walls. I'm thinking, originally I was gonna take out this tile, but now I'm thinking probably just going to put paneling or some sort of beadboard paneling or something that looks a little bit better over top of this. Create a lot less mess, a lot less work, and I don't think anyone's really ever gonna notice. You're not gonna lose a ton of space. As far as the floor goes, I'm planning on putting the luxury vinyl planks over the top of this. Floor's pretty level, and I think it'll be good just to cover this up. New toilet, new fixtures, everything like that. So, give this bathroom a total transformation, I think. Alright, what day is it?
It's demo day.
We're in my mom's bathroom. This is my mom. We're getting ready to demo this vanity out of here. That's our first step. Just getting a little crazy with the hammer. So our first task is we're going to take these tiles off and then hopefully figure out how we can get this vanity out of here, and then we can get started. Oh, Mom actually also removed all the wallpaper. She just didn't keep up with my YouTube filming schedule. So anyways, all the wallpaper's off, and originally we were going to paint these walls, but it looks like they're in pretty rough shape, so we're going to put wallpaper back up. So first step is get this vanity out of here. So you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Alright, let's go. So I had a feeling that getting this bathroom vanity out was going to be a big job. But honestly, I could not have imagined just how big of a job it was going to be. I decided that I was going to tackle it by removing the tiles that were on the countertop first and then work my way from there. And thankfully, when my arms started to wear down, my dad stepped in to help me work on getting this thing out of here as easily as we could. I'm not being over dramatic when I say that I think they built the entire house around this bathroom vanity. There were like 100 nails coming from exterior walls of the house, and it was mortared in place to last for, I don't know, maybe another 5,000 years. But we just kept chipping away at it. And just in case you didn't believe me, this will give you an idea of how much mortar was used just for the tile countertops. She's pretty thick. After 1 hour of demo, we finally had the vanity removed and could work on getting it prepped for a new vanity. Then it was time for the most glamorous part of any bathroom remodel, the toilet removal.
Ew, that's gross!
Just kidding. It's pretty gross, and it never gets any better. Plus, there is really not a good way to lift a toilet, just saying. Anyways, once we got that out of there, we worked on getting everything prepped for installing beadboard on the walls. After seeing how much mortar they used for the tiles on the vanity, there was not a chance that I was going to remove all of the tiles on the wall. So I made the decision to apply beadboard paneling over top of the tile. To do this, I roughed up the tile with a sander and then applied an insane amount of liquid nails and placed the beadboard onto the walls. Now, since we were dealing with vertical pieces, we had to get a bit creative and use some bracing to hold the panels tight onto the wall until the liquid nails dried.
First piece down, a lot more to go. That was not fun.
After having the pleasure of removing wallpaper a couple of times, I learned that it's probably one of my least favorite things to do. Well, as it turns out, installing wallpaper comes in a very close second. Now, we didn't originally intend on installing wallpaper in this bathroom, but to be honest, the walls just weren't in good shape and I wasn't sure that we would be able to get them painted very well. So we opted to install some of this wallpaper that claims to be incredibly easy and dummy proof. Well, boy did I put that claim to the test. Lucky for you, I edited out all of my many mistakes or this video would have been much longer. After a while, I did start to get the hang of it, and I guess it doesn't look too much like a complete amateur did it, so I'll take that as a win. In hindsight, I do think adding wallpaper to this bathroom was a great idea. I really love the little bit of design that it gives to the space that I'm not sure we could have achieved by just painting the walls. I was hesitant at first because I've never been crazy about adding wallpaper into a room with moisture, but since this is a half bath, I don't think that will be as big of an issue. Also, the contrast between the wallpaper and the navy blue color we chose for the beadboard, which you'll see in just a minute, is chef's kiss.
Alright. Got all the wallpaper up now. It's looking pretty good. New light fixture. All the wallboard is up. Make you dizzy here. Alright, so what's left is get that vanity in. Once the vanity's in, you can get the floor in, and then replace the toilet.
To add a finished look to the beadboard, we added some trim to the top. We attached a 1x4 board with some liquid nails and brad nails, then added another piece of trim on top of that as a cap, making sure to keep everything level all across the room.
Alright, got one layer of trim up here. I'm gonna put a cap on top of these pieces. And so right now I've just got it up there with some liquid nails and a few brad nails. And then I just filled in those holes with some wood filler. So next step is to get that sanded off. And then I've got all of the pieces cut to size. Mom's outside sanding those. And then we'll get those ready to be painted and attached on top of this. So it's starting to come together.
With a good chunk of progress made in the bathroom, I figured it was a good time to get started on building the bathroom vanity. Now, I made this vanity out of a sheet of 3/4 inch maple plywood. So my first step was to cut my sheet of plywood down into the size pieces that I would need to build my carcass. Once I had my pieces cut to size, I drilled some pocket holes in my support pieces and notched out a section on the bottom for my toe kick. Also, since this vanity is going to need some sort of back, I routed out a 1/4 inch groove on each side of my pieces so that I could fit a 1/4 inch thick back panel into each of my grooves. Then it was time to get this thing assembled. Now basically all I was doing was making one box, then making another box, and then connecting box A to box B. Super complicated stuff, guys. But I know, I make it look easy. Just kidding. But on the real, assembly of the vanity carcass was pretty straightforward. Using some wood glue and screws, I had this thing assembled fairly quickly. Alright, so I got the carcass of my vanity done. Now what I need to do is I've got some 1x2 poplar boards and I'm going to add a face frame all around this here. So let me go ahead and just take care of that. Yep, that looks much better. Okay, so as you can see, I've got 3 drawers on this side, 3 drawers on this side. In the middle is going to be 2 cabinet doors. It's going to allow you to be able to access all of the drains and stuff like that. So all right guys, I got the carcass of my vanity pretty much together here, and I gotta say it actually does look like a bathroom vanity, which is a good thing because that's what I wanted it to look like. So anyways, my next step is I need to add the drawer slides to each of these openings that are going to be for my drawers, which are the 3 openings on each of my sides. And the drawer slides that I decided to use are these undermount drawer slides here. So I'm going to go ahead and work on getting these undermount drawer slides attached to my vanity. Rather than fight gravity on this one, I decided to flip the vanity up on its side and install my slides that way. I set them back about 1/8 of an inch from the front and made sure they were lined up evenly on each side. Alright, I got all of the drawer slides finally installed. That was quite the job, but thankfully I'm done, and all that's left is to go ahead and get those drawer boxes made up. To make my drawer boxes, I ripped up some 1/2 inch material off camera to the sizes that I needed for my drawers. The instructions for the bottom mount drawer slides will tell you the exact dimensions that you're going to need for your drawers. It also recommended to use 1/2 inch material for construction, which was not my preferred choice. Now, I typically like to make nice and hefty drawers using some 3/4 inch material, so when I first looked at the instructions and saw it wanted me to use 1/2 inch material, I kind of thought to myself,
I'm not listening to you, you're crazy.
But I figured, why not? Let's follow the instructions and give this 1/2 inch stuff a try. To construct my boxes, I placed my bottom panel into a 1/4 inch groove that I routed out in my pieces, and then I added glue and brad nails to hold everything together. And after all that, I ended up with 6 drawers ready to be finished and placed in the vanity. Alright, just got the vanity in place. Got a few shims in there to make it level. So next step is to get the top in here and figure out exactly how I'm gonna need to scribe it to get it to fit exactly flush against this. So that's the next step. Okay, well actually it wasn't the next step. I told a little bit of a fib there, guys, sorry. I planned on that being the next step, but instead I decided that installing the flooring at the end of a very long workday sounded like a logical plan to an insane person. Anyways, for the flooring, I installed some luxury vinyl planks that my mom had left over from when we renovated her kitchen. If you want to see that transformation video, I'll link it in the description box below. Little shameless plug there, guys. Now this is my third time installing this LVP, and I have to say it is pretty easy even for a beginner if the floor you are laying it on top of is level. So I got this knocked out pretty quickly and could call it a day.
Got the vanity installed, got the flooring installed. Gotta just finish up the trim for the baseboards, and then gotta get the vanity painted, get all the drawers built. I've got the top already glued up. I just have to work on finishing and sealing that and, you know, touching up paint, and we're looking pretty good. We're almost to the finish line.
For the top of the vanity, my plan was to glue up some oak boards that a vessel sink could sit on top of. So I cut my oak boards to size and then made some slots for biscuits and worked on getting it glued and clamped together. After the glue had dried for my vanity top, I had something that was starting to look really beautiful. And then I went and put a bunch of holes in it. Listen, I know what you're thinking.
You're not very bright, are you?
But see, I can explain. These holes were the holes for the faucet and the sink drain, in case you somehow forgot this far into the video that I am making a bathroom vanity. So I got these holes cut to the exact sizes that I needed, and then I worked on finishing the vanity top itself. The process went a little something like this: sanding, staining, finishing, all the usual steps. Now, as far as the finish for this top goes, I went back and forth on what to use. At one point, I was settled on using countertop epoxy, but I just didn't want that super glossy finish look. So I decided to use my tried and true General Finishes oil-based top coat, and I made sure to apply more than the recommended amount of coats to make sure it stands up to the exposure to water. With the vanity top finished, it was time to get it attached to the vanity base. To do this, I attached some figure 8 fastener clips to my base and then screwed some screws through these figure 8 clips into the top. This will allow the wood top to move seasonally and will hopefully prevent any sort of cracking. Once the top was attached, I then worked on getting the faucet and sink attached. To attach the sink to the vanity top, I applied some silicone adhesive to the bottom of the sink and set it in place, and then installed the sink drain. Well, I think it's safe to say that this bathroom is no longer stuck in the 1960s. We were able to breathe some much needed life into this space and give it a little more modern design. I did my best to bring you guys along for the ride on this transformation. While I did leave some steps out just for the sake of not making this video too terribly long, I think you can get a good idea of what it took to completely renovate this space. Overall, this remodel took us about 4 weeks and came in just shy of $1,000, which is not bad considering just how different this space feels now.
Why do I have to be?
Because we started out the video together, we had to finish the video together.
Okay, well you do the talking.
Why?
God.
You get to talk. Why do you get so shy?
God.
Hi, Murphy. This is how we started the video.
Hey, the manager is here. The boss is here.
Well, Mom, we did it.
We did it.
What do you think of it?
I love it.
You do?
I love it.
Total transformation.
Total
right?
transformation.
Yep. Well, I think it looks good.
Me too.
Love you.
Love you. Thank you so much. Making my dreams come true. One room at a time.
My favorite projects to complete are the ones that I get to help my mom with, because I just think it's one of the best feelings in the world to be able to give back a little something to someone who has given you so much. So I'm happy that I was able to completely transform this space for my parents. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, feel free to hit those like and subscribe buttons. That helps my channel continue to grow and I can keep putting out videos like these for you guys. I'll be seeing you guys again very soon for my next DIY. Bye! Murphy, you like the new bathroom? Do you approve?
You like it?
You approve?
Is it Murphy approved? Murphy approved?